stop all these embarrassment every day.
It is super embarrassing. It is super embarrassing. All right, let's move straight to our next story. It's been a frenzy of suspension in the camp of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, worsening the crisis rocking the main opposition party in the country. The PDP governors, who were deeply divided over the future of the acting national chairman of the party, Iliya Damagum, after a meeting in Abuja on ways to resolve the crisis, the governors were able to break the deadlock by nullifying the suspension of Damagum and the National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba. The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, who addressed newsmen, explained that the decision to broker a truce was reached after they consulted with the National Working Committee, the party's National Assembly caucus, and the Board of Trustees, BOT. Now let's hear from Governor Mohammed.
We are proceeding to Ondo to reaffirm that there is no faction in the PDP. All this bit of suspension and what have you that we had. Governors and LWC and indeed the caucus of the National Assembly and the BOT are here, and we have resolved everything. There is no faction, everything has reverted to status quo. My message on behalf of the governors is to remember that it is PDP we have, and the nation is our constituency. It is the most experienced party that has produced governments and good governance.
You know, in situation like that, people will want to cash in, especially you, press. I want to warn you that you escalate things even where there are no crisis. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Governors Forum are our leaders, and they are the critical organ of this party. And when they speak, we have to look at it holistically and also abide by it.
BKO, now that the crisis has been resolved, maybe on the surface or maybe deep within, but what are your thoughts on this? At first, we heard that it ended in a deadlock, but now it's been resolved. What are your thoughts here?
Well, it's not everything that we read that we should believe. As journalists, we must know that this is the era of fake news, and so many fake journalists are now have now populated our profession. People without training, they have no time for filtration of any sort. They are out to mislead people and draw people to their online platforms with fake stories.
You called them something yesterday.
You know, usually what comes to my mouth that I say. I don't even remember how I described it. No. It's the point that I was making.
Okay.
It's not everybody on TV who analyzes that is a journalist. Yeah. There's a difference between a pundit and a journalist. Yeah. Many of the people you see who call themselves journalists, they are not journalists. If you call a man without any training in journalism who wears a pair of suits and is just analyzed, you call him a journalist, then you don't know what you are talking about. It means that you will call Michael Owen Hargreaves, and all of those people, this Liverpool fullback, Jamie Carragher, you call those ones to journalists because they bring them to the studio, they discuss analyze. They are not journalists, they are not sports journalists, they are just pundits.
They are pundits, yes.
That's a lot of those people are pundits. And they are not even doing it well. They are not even doing it well. They don't even know what the ethics of the profession is. You look at them, you know that this one has no training. That's the point that I'm making. You cannot tie all of us with the same brush.
At all.
You can't. Journalism is not an easy profession. You risk your life. You do sleepless nights producing. Some of what we are talking about, a lot of the people that you see today analyzing on TV, they have no such training. They've not gone through the fire. They've not been forged in the fire of professionalism. They don't know anything about the ethics of the profession. And everybody just calls them, they just call them journalists. I mean, it's crazy. You can't call anybody you see on TV a journalist. How? How is he a journalist? Let him show you a single story that he ever wrote. How can you be a journalist if you cannot report? My own bosses never trained me like that. You should be able to report. Whether you are a producer or not, we can draft you anywhere, go and bring that report. If you can't do it, you are not worthy of being called a journalist. And it's shameful that even journalists will be calling non-journalists journalists. They will be ashamed of themselves. Our profession has been damaged. You read today, you don't even know what to believe. You see all kinds of stories. So we just look at them. Those who get excited by everything that they see written by people without training in journalism or what they talk about. Some of it they pick from social media
and just,
and social media, everybody sees himself as a journalist because you have a phone.
Yeah, they call them citizen journalists.
So that you read that the meeting was deadlocked does not mean you should believe it. I would rather wait.
For the
outcome. I would rather miss a story than go and break a story that is not true. And I used to tell people here.
Don't be the first to break.
I used to tell people, I said, it damages your reputation when you run a story that is not because you are in a hurry. I always tell them, be calm. It damages your reputation. It damages the reputation of the company. You cause serious reputational damage to a company when you run a story that is not true.
Some media outfits actually ran with it that the meeting ended in a deadlock. That's the sad part.
You know what?
This meeting lasted 2 days. At what point did they
deadlock?
A meeting that has not ended, a meeting that is
the thing is ongoing.
You come to the conclusion that it ended in a deadlock because that is what you wanted to see.
That is what you wanted to see.
These days now, the truth, people feel that they are entitled to their own truth.
Not the universal truth.
There is a difference between facts and opinion.
Yeah.
Facts and opinion, okay.
People want to dress up their opinion as facts. That's not what we want to see. Let them do their meeting. Let the meeting end. We will know when the meeting, they cannot be holding that meeting indefinitely. At some point, it must end. When that meeting ends, the whole world will know the resolution. Why are people in this indecent haste? Oh, this Damagun must go. Oh, this thing. At the end of the day, you embarrass yourself. If I read on a platform that, the meeting was deadlocked, a meeting that was ongoing, you are not inside, though. Maybe somebody who is misguided from within their group
came out to tell
he is biased. He chooses to report the matter from
his own point of view,
perspective.
And you believed. My boss, Baron Onoga, used to tell me something, that the biggest liars in our country are the big people. That every time they tell you this, you must be careful because they're always eager to use us.
Yeah.
And a man who was number 2 in our country once lied to him. And we ran with the story.
And at the end of the
day, to discover that
it was not true.
He couldn't believe that somebody that big would lie. But that was a lesson for me as a young journalist. When he told us that story. Back then, in I think around 1994. Yes, around 1994. Really? Since then, that if I must make a good name in this profession, I must run away from people who simply lie just to mislead us. Look good before the world. They've used you to look good. So we have to be careful.
Sure.
Going back to
the
issue of PDP. As I said before, there is contestation for power between tendencies loyal to Atiku.
Exactly.
Tendencies with sympathy for Wike. Wike draws his sympathy largely from the fact that when a lot of them abandoned the party,
He stayed.
He chose to remain and was funding the party. He still has his own people, whether you like it or not. We may hate him and wish him dead or wish evil upon him, but he still has his
loyalists. He has
some of them.
backers.
He was the one who sponsored them to the elective positions they occupy now. Me, I will say the truth. You can hate me. That's your problem. You still won't stop me from coming here tomorrow to say the truth. So do you expect some of the people who have benefited from him over the years to not be loyal to him? I'm among some of these people who are even governors. You know? So, as far as they are concerned, the governors control the party. Whether it's APC or PDP, they are the ones who fund the party. They are the biggest people in the party.
Yeah.
APC showed us how powerful governors can be. When APC governors chased away a national chairman, put a caretaker in place, named their own person as chairman of caretaker committee, extended the tenure of caretaker committee after 6 months, removed the caretaker committee chairman who was one of them. You know? So look at that. It wasn't the president, the leader of the party.
It was the governors calling the shots.
So in this case now, the governors of the PDP just said, come on, let this nonsense stop. This suspension and tit-for-tat suspensions, stop. They put an end to it. They said, everybody return to status quo. And Bala Mohammed said, Ambassador Damagum said something that he said, as far as I am concerned, the governors are our leaders and critical stakeholders in this party. And when they speak, we must listen and holistically abide by it. So it says it all. You have a NEC meeting on the 24th of this month. You plan a convention in December. Why not wait until that time if you want to effect changes? That is what the governors are saying. Let's be calm. Let's not factionalize our party. It will be a shame to the PDP if it gets factionalized. Because we need, no matter how selfish people may be, we still need
a strong opposition.
Opposition to get the ruling party to do what is right for us all.
Okay. All right. BK, we need to go on this break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. It's still Journalist Hangout. All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. And I'm still here with Olayinka Oyebile and BK. Olayinka, now that the meeting, the crisis has been resolved, what next for PDP?
Well, you see, it is good, perhaps, that they've resolved that. But in all this, do you know what Yoruba call assassin? It's like what is happening now.
For our English audience, what that means?
That is, how do I translate assassin?
A spell.
A spell. Okay. Yes. It's like the APC has cast a spell, not only on PDP, but on the opposition party. As far as Nigeria...
Are you saying that in the PDP there's some unseen hands?
Well,
from
whatever.
the APC on...
No.
Is that what you're saying?
It might not be that. It's like, you see, for now, APC is the luckiest party that have ever held power at the central point in Nigeria today, right from the day of independence. Because now, rather than the opposition party
coming
together, the PDP is involved in self-attrition, fighting among themselves. LP is in confusion, and NNP. Labour Party is in
also
confusion. NNPP is also in
exactly.
shambles. So now, one suggestion or one thing I want to see is, will the APC as a party or some people in the party will sit down one day and write a definitive book about how to be an opposition party in Nigeria?
Because the way they
look,
did that,
the way they did it,
2015,
even when there is the disagreement in the party, they have a way. It doesn't blow open as is happening in PDP, LP, and NNPP. So, what is that uniting factor that they have? Their politics, perhaps, will need to be studied in the Department of Political Science in our universities. Then what exactly? Because from 2015, since APC came to power, there has not been any united opposition against it, unfortunately. And Nigeria today, we need a very vibrant opposition, the same way the APC was when they were outside the corridors of power. All these parties, whether they unite together or even as one, let us even have one. Why should PDP be fighting among themselves? LP, the same thing, NNPP, the same thing.
But really, what should be the role of an opposition party?
The role of an opposition party is to put the ruling party on its toes. Look, you sit down. For instance, let me give you an example. All the three leading presidential candidates agreed that there was going to be
subsidy should be
removed. If it were to be that it's PDP or LP that won this presidential election, the way APC would have tackled them if the subsidy had been removed will not be the same the way they are doing it right today, because they are so disorganized. Even when APC tells you that, oh, but we all agree that we are going to remove, none of them has come out to say that, okay, we agree we are going to do it, but we wouldn't have done it this way. This is the way we'll have done it. It's quiet at the Western Front. Why? It's like the opposition party don't even have any idea of. Maybe for the PDP, we might have some sympathy for them. They have been in power for so long, 16 years. So they don't know how to play the opposition, perhaps.
Okay.
But LP and NNPP,
you expect more from
them. You couldn't even give us a solid opposition to what is happening in the country. And everything seems to be just going just like that. Rather than face the party in power and wrestle them and tell them you have done this, you have not done that, they begin to fight
each other
among themselves. What is that? It's very unfortunate. And I think that perhaps with this resolve, the PDP will go back now and talk to themselves. That, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, let us organize ourselves.
Perhaps they need some house cleaning. How about
exactly. That? They need to do some house cleaning. They need to re-strategize. Look at their party and say that, what do we need to do? What have we done wrong? What can we do right? So that we can face these things squarely. That is what they need to do.
Oh dear. Vikio, in just 30 seconds, I just need your parting thoughts on that one. What's the next thing for PDP now?
No, they have to show a willingness to forgive one another.
Forgive one another. Reconciliation.
True reconciliation.
True.
They are even reluctant to wield the big stick because most of the time when you do that, it backfires, especially when you are dealing with big politicians. You may end up regretting it because they will use their strength against you.
You
know, so there's a need to come together, put the party first.
Put the party first.
Damagum said that the two contending groups agreed that in the interest of the party and Nigeria, that they needed to come together. So all of this
back and forth,
head banging on the wall, I think they've agreed that, look, it is not helpful at this stage because you are merely helping the ruling party.
Exactly.
You know? So there's a need for them. Let them wait for October 24, the next meeting, then the convention of the party. But to be hitting up the polity, saying all of the things they are doing, a lot of these things just hatred for particular individuals. And when politicians find it difficult to forgive one another,
true reconciliation.
Reconciliation will not happen. Yeah, some of them find it difficult to even stand some individuals in the party.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the ambitions of some people, they believe that they must achieve their ambition even at the expense of the party.
Okay.
That is not to be a good party man. You must be ready to subordinate yourself to the interest of the party.
The interest of the party should come first. All right, let's move.